So, given that it's Black History Month, as you should know, right?
We were just a part of a really good initiative with YouTube.
Yes, exactly. And given that Valentine's Day is just around the corner, I can't wait.
I can't wait too.
I know, right? We got so much planned.
The last time we sat like this, we discussed our marital problems. But this is the Team 2 Moms channel, so I'm not sure where this is going. But okay, let's go.
I know. So I was just thinking, we never have spoken about this topic, and the topic being us being an interracial couple. Like, I don't think it's something that's always on our mind or on the forefront of our minds. So
I mean, sometimes we're reminded in the comment section of our videos, but yeah, it's definitely not a forefront in our minds.
Absolutely. So how does it feel for you to be in an interracial couple, in an interracial relationship?
Well, oh wow, you're such an intellect. You're such an intellect. Okay, this is a good topic. Okay, sometimes, for the most part, like you said, it's not something that I think about. Being African American and in an interracial relationship. I mean,
Let's say beautiful African American.
Ooh, snap. We gotta get her hair done though, because these braids are type old. But I've honestly, again, I am a little bit oblivious to race and color when it comes to our relationship, because we've never really had like any outliers kind of point those things out to us. Only the fact that we share our lives online. Of course, things came up once the twins were born, and we've talked extensively about that, like how different our my skin complexion is from the boys, and people putting their input that we should have picked an African American donor so the skin color could look a little mixed. But as far as apart from our kids and being in a relationship with you, I just feel like it's 2018 and we're nothing out of the ordinary or new. There are a lot of interracial couples, especially family vloggers. There's a lot of interracial family vloggers, and
I also want to add that a lot of people kind of unite the whole Hispanic and Blacks together, because like we suffered through a lot of same things when it comes to race and. Yeah, so
exactly, and I, even though sometimes I think people mistaken what your nationality is, you are a white Hispanic, and being that I'm African American, I mean the only challenge is the luckily for us, we've built this community online that has literally become family. Like, our audience know who we are, and it feels like family. But when those random people find our channel, their first reaction is not the fact that I'm Black and you appear, you're white. It's more, you're gay.
Yeah.
And then, so I would say in the order, it's you're gay. Then I think it talks about us being women, and then I think race comes into play. So I think
you're gay, you're woman, and your race
and then
is last.
Like,
right?
I don't really see that many comments about that. But when I do, it's usually along the terms of denying being who I am, denying my African Americanness, not wanting to be African American because I have a white wife and white looking kids. And it's very rarely do I ever get like, oh, that's a loss for the African American men community.
And I don't think you seeked out for me. If anything,
I didn't
seeked out
I
for
mean,
you.
I'm not gonna.
And was I the first? I wasn't your first Hispanic person, and you've dated Black people before, so
yeah, I've dated African Americans. I mean,
it's situational.
I have a thing for some Latina women. I can't front. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I do have a little thing for that flair, but no, I've dated within and without my race, and I think I didn't fall in love with your race. I fell in love with you and your heart. So yeah, and like I was saying, like, it's very rarely do I ever get like comments like, "Oh, you should be with a black man." I don't really see those, thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't really see that. But honestly, overlying, it's usually about being gay.
Yeah.
But for you, how do you feel being in an interracial? I love the blending of the cultures, like when we have family gatherings.
Absolutely,
and the food spread.
the difference of food. I've been, how you say, already introduced to the Black community prior to being in this relationship. So that,
Did
like
you
I said,
only date African American women?
No. I mean, my last 2 relationships were African American, but prior to you. But no, I've dated other races.
Do you have a thing for
I've
African American?
I think I do. You know that saying, once you pop, you never stop? You know the Pringles commercial? That's what I say.
No, I heard
women.
Once you go black, you never go
There
back.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. Pop. What am I talking about? Once you go black, you never go back. You never go back. And I really believe in that because I've never gone back. And I have no choice at this point because I'm married.
Is there a slogan for Latino women? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but shoot. Once you
go
go Latina, you never go back. There you go. We just made it up.
Do you ever worry, though, that our kids are going to get bullied for us being interracial? Or do you think it's more because we're gay? Or
So, obviously, since Olivia is biologically yours, you know, you gave birth to her. Her genetic makeup is already partial African American, right? With the boys, their genetic makeup is not partially African American. So I do think about the different phases that they're going to go through because they're going to relate so much to the Black community because they're going to say, my mom is Black and she's beautiful. I gotta add that part. So I know they're gonna probably relate to the Black community so much that I don't want them to be judged
or bullied because
they don't look Black. Absolutely.
You know, that's a very valid point. I mean, I agree with you, and I honestly feel like our family and how we've made our family and the layers of complexity is what makes it so beautiful that I feel like our kids are going to be like very, very, very enriched and well-rounded and strong enough to combat those issues. To combat those issues. But there are obviously going to be times where it's going to be a little hard and difficult for them to overcome, you know, just by adolescence and ages, and, you know, you get stronger as you get older. But luckily we have a good support system around us.
And I feel like it's going to be an open conversation. One thing that I noticed that we have to continue the conversation on is the beauty of Olivia. And what I mean by that is that Olivia has beautiful curly African American hair. She has mixed hair, and yes, she's not going to relate to the boys on that level, but that's a open conversation that we're going to continue on with her by introducing books about women with curly hair and the milestones and stuff that they go through. And, you know, I want her to be absorbed to all of that. So I think that's just a continued conversation that we sit down with her and let her know. And
do you think people stare at us in public? And if they do you think they're staring at us because we're two women, or do you think they're staring at us because we're two women and we're interracial?
Honestly, we've never come to any.
I don't think I notice my surroundings.
Exactly.
Which is not good. You should be very alert.
People stare at us, but I would assume that the first thing is that we're women and that we are family and we have children. I don't think that the first thing that comes to mind is our race per se.
Do you ever feel as though being on this platform that you're not giving 100% to the Latina community because you're with a very overbearing at times African American woman, strong-minded.
No, I don't think that I don't think the way to make a difference in the Latino community is to be with a Latina. I think in order to make a difference in the Latina community is to make a difference somehow.
To be an example yourself.
An example myself. Exactly. I feel like, yes, we want to do more, and I would love to do more in the Latina community, especially put light to people that look like me. I want to see more people in the media that look just like me, because I turn on the TV and a lot of people don't look like me, and I get judged for how I look on a daily basis. So I think that is how I will contribute to the Latina community, not dating one.
I do feel a little bit more pressure, because I don't know, I feel like there is a little bit more judgment because I'm African American from my own community. Because again, when I went through that whole thing about the differences of my kids and me, I mean, the good chunk and bulk of it was from my own community that had a problem with it. So I do feel a little bit more pressure. I definitely feel more pressure.
With that, I think we need to be more uplifting and more supportive to each other, as opposed to being, judgmental. Because the more we support the more we support people like us and that look like us, the more like you'll see more of us. Because that's what people are afraid of. Like, people, when they know that we are on a YouTube platform, their first concern is, wow, why are you putting your life out there? And that is the main reason why we do it. Because we want, we need visibility and to show that this is possible. Yeah. Do you feel like you need to be more impactful or make a difference some other way other than this platform?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've talked about that so many times, where I want to do. I don't feel like we're doing enough. I definitely don't feel like we're doing enough. And I don't feel like just sharing our story is enough. And we've tried, sharing other people's stories and so forth. But there's still a lot more I know we can do to make this platform more impactful. And I know the community we built feels as though we're doing a fantastic job. But we are our own worst critics, and I definitely know we can do more. Yeah, I like this conversation. But overall, being in an interracial relationship to me is not our biggest adversity. I think our biggest adversity is the fact that we are lesbians.
Yes.
And then that's just an added layer on top of that we are.
Yes, and we are proud to be who we are.
Oh, absolutely.
And continue to,
Love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Peace out.
No.